This show features adults using adult language and discussing mature topics. You have been warned. Hello everybody, welcome back to Mrs. Kren's Valley, where everything's fine and nothing bad happens. When we last left off, the whole crew saved the Wizards of Wines from the Blight Menace. There was this crazy Vine Lord creature, and it made like plant zombies and stuff, and it was really gross, but you guys took care of it. You destroyed all the spores, and the little pods that were spawning them. Luckily took out the very overpowered Vine Lord that could summon things that can summon things that can summon things. And now the group is on the wagon, the wine wagon, heading north on the Old Slavic Road up to the small village of Krezk. Well, they were heading that way. They're here, and with the news of their wine shipment finally coming in, the normally very hesitant people of Krezk were very welcoming on opening the doors for delivery. So we left off with me stating what the town looked like, but I'll say it again as a refresher. Two square towers with peaked roofs flank a stone archway in which you can see a pair of 12-foot-tall iron-bound wooden doors. Carved into the arch of the door was the name Krezk. The walls that extend the gatehead are 20 feet high, and atop of a parapet you can see 4 figures with fur hats and clutching spears. And then they let you in, and you see that this mist-shrouded village beyond the wall is nothing more than a scattering of humble wooden cottages along dirt roads that stretch beyond the stands of snow dust pine trees. So many trees, in fact, as to constitute as a forest on its own. And then to the northeast, so to your forward and a little bit to the right, you can see gray cliffs rising sharply and a little road that winds up to an abbey that is easy to see from this vantage. So the wagon comes in, and as it comes in on the road into the town, you notice that the people here are just as secluded as the ones in the initial village that you all came into, the one that was called Barovia Village, where you met Irina and the gang, where everyone seems to be pretty much keeping to their own. But since this village has such a nice wall of defense with all these guards, the buildings don't seem to be in shambles, and they're not all boarded up or condemned. It's just very few and far between when you come in here. And you notice that there's no tavern here. And the wagon, led by the Corvum, one of the younger sons of the Marcovia family, the owners of the Wizards of Wines, leads the wagon right where he knows where he's taking the shipment, because he's done this many times before. Coming into view is a cottage that's bigger than the others. And they stop there around the back. Looks like there's like already a trail made, so there's like trees aren't growing there. And actually some of the tree branches have been trimmed so they're not, like in the way, so the wagon can actually go around unimpeded. And both the boys are like, well, we're here. And they go to get off the wagon. What do the rest of you do?
Looking around for shops.
No shops that you can see. Imagine they're like all log cabins. So to make a joke, even though Vex isn't here, you've pretty much entered Canada. I know not all of Canada is wood cabins, but the two take one of the kegs of wine and they go to take it to the back door to this huge, bigger than the other cottages you're parked behind. And opening the double doors in the back, you see a fellow in a batra, and he seems to be dressed fairly well for the circumstances. He does have a nobleman's type of attire, but he's also dressed for the cold. As you know, since you're closer to the mountains now, it is a lot chillier here, especially since you seem to be at the border of this valley. You can actually visibly see to the northwest, continuing westward, a giant wall of fog that's a few hundred feet away from the outer walls of this village. And you don't really hear what they're saying, but he mentions something to them, and they nod and agree, and they go to take the keg, and they take it inside. And this batra looks at you all and heads inside. Since you're looking around, Nyhm, you can give me a perception check, since you're looking around for stuff.
Even with a passive of 15?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mostly because you're actually actively searching. So if you get lower than 15, we'll just go with 15.
Alrighty. Well, crap. I did not pull up my character sheet like an idiot, so I'll go ahead and roll and see what we... Okay, it'd be higher, so bear with me. I am terribly sorry. I've been extremely tired all day and was not thinking properly.
It's okay, it's been a long day.
It's been a long year.
Yeah.
Almost there. There we go. 23.
Okay, you notice a lot of things. I'll name the most obvious first and then go from there. So the first thing that you all would have noticed is a graveyard back here. And there are 4 tombstones. And they're small. The graves themselves look fairly small. But Nyhm, with your keen eyes and looking around, you can see that they have written in kind of a gothic version of Birdfolk, which has like the serifs on it, even though they're just scratch marks, like the dragon language in Skyrim. You know, looks like just scratches. You see 4 names on them, and they all end with the name Krezk. The newest one, which you can tell because the dirt hasn't fully settled, all the way on the right, says Ilya Krezk. And you notice all of them, their dates, none of them grew to be more than they were all adolescent, to say the least. One of them didn't even last more than a year.
Depressing.
So, yep. And then way further in the distance, you can just barely see past the trees what appears to be some kind of pool of water out there. And it seems to be like shining like there's daylight on it, even though there's no direct sun coming through the cloudy overcast that you all are now very used to. And you notice a bunch of other little cottages here and there. Each of them seem to be self-sustaining in their own way. They have their own like pigs and chickens and gardens. And you're thinking that these people probably never need to leave here, and they probably don't from the looks of it. The wall that goes up 20 feet, you can see that there are guards patrolling the walls, but they're very far apart from each other. They're about 300 feet apart from each other. give or take.
What is in the direction of the fake sunlight?
You see like a pool of water of some kind, and it's like it seems like it's reflecting, like there's sun hitting it, but there isn't any.
Oh, pool of water. I thought you said something completely different. Okay.
It looks like it's way on the northern side of the village, which you are fairly close to, actually. If you look on the map, which I have there for the audience, and I put in the Discord for you guys, the pool's in the furthest north part, and there's like a loop around circle road that seems to cover the whole village, but then there's like a dirt path that leads to it. And you guys are right at like the fork. The big cottage is at the fork between the loop road and the road that goes towards that.
Okay. Then one last question.
Mm-hmm.
Do I spy a tavern anywhere?
No.
Well, that was my go-to. Anybody else?
At this point, the two Corvum boys come back to get another keg. And as they do, one of them looks at Saxton and says, "Hey, do you mind helping?"
Sure. Where do you need it to go?
Oh, I'll lead the way. And then the other one looks at Tim-Tam and asks Tim-Tam, "Hey, you want to get the last one so we can just get this done with?"
Sure, absolutely.
Thanks.
So I feel kind of like an idiot all of a sudden, because they're most likely taking the wine to said tavern.
You notice them taking them into this bigger cottage. There are big double doors in the back, so they can fit through.
I think I'd follow along.
As you follow along, the batcher that you saw before, you notice that he keeps an eye on you as you start to go in and follow them. And he says, "And who might you be? I've never seen you or your friends around here before."
Hey, Saxton, you're good at making friends.
Got a keg. What do you need?
Well, that goes into the cellar. He points towards the stairs.
Okay, I'll head down the stairs then.
Well, I hope you don't stay too long. This place isn't kind to visitors. And he goes to leave, and he goes further into the cabin. And you notice him go sit on a fairly nice couch, and sitting there is a female Batra who, like him, they seem to be like middle-aged, in like human years, in like their 40s.
Mind if I ask you a quick question?
Yeah, sure.
In character.
Yeah. Oh, yes?
Who are the Krezkovs?
That is us. I am Dmitri Krezkov, the burgomaster of Krezk.
Ah. Well, sorry. I happened to spy all the graves outside. I was just wondering what happened.
Looks at his wife. She just... And he goes to look down, and you notice that he's like... seems like he's about to tear up and stuff. And his wife looks at you with an even sterner eye than he did, and she says, Ah, I see you want to get right to the point. Those are our children. They're all dead.
I'm going to take a wild stab in the dark and say, Strahd?
No, it wasn't him.
Ooh.
I believe it is just fate is against us here. The first one died of pneumonia. The second one ventured outside the gates during nighttime. Never came back. The third one also died of sickness. And our last son, Ilya Krezkov, survived until last week. He was 14. And it seems like our line will dies along with him.
I am terribly sorry. I thought if it was a threat that could be taken care of, that we might be able to help. I was mistaken.
Well, the only one that could help is, and then her husband intervenes and says, we don't need to ask anything from them. They'll only cause trouble. And he knows him look nervously out the window up towards the Abbey. Which is bigger than the village itself, and it's way up on the mountainside. You hear a bell ring up there.
Okay. Well, apologize for bringing that up. If you don't mind me asking, is there a tavern or an inn somewhere around here? Well, get out of your hair after this.
No. But if you're willing to do some work around the village, I'm sure some of the people around here would be willing to let you stay the night. That includes us, if you wish. We do now have an empty bedroom. And then I'll say that's when Saxton and everybody else who's helping with the wine is done. When you go down in the cellar, it's literally just like a dirt cellar. There's just support beams. It looks like you can see clearly where wine used to go and hadn't been there in a long time, and then that's where you guys put the kegs. And then that's when Saxton comes up. And what did you ask again? I'm sorry.
I'd be walking in after Lluis and coming back out. Hey, what's that big building up there on the hill?
That's the Abbey. It's a cursed place.
To be fair, isn't this whole land cursed? But what, pray tell, is the special curse about that place?
It is the Abbey of Saint Marcovia. It was named after a priest of the Dawn Mother who stood against the Devil Strahd about 100 years ago. After the fierce uprising, Marcovia and most of her loyal followers stormed Castle Ravenloft, but were only to be destroyed. It was once a hospital and convent, but it fell into hard times after the mists arrived. Some of the clergy fell prey to Strahd, while others went mad and either starved themselves to death, or some even turned to cannibalism. Everyone there is gone, except for one man. The head of the Abbey, he simply calls himself the Abbot. He arrived over a century ago, but he hasn't aged a day. He occasionally visits the shrine of the White Feather, and he points over towards the pond that you saw before, but doesn't talk much, and he demands tribute in the form of wine for his blessings.
Oh, we've already asked, so may as well get the details. What would you need to be? What would you need done if we were needed in a place to stay?
Could you see if you can get the Abbey to bring our son back? He has performed miracles in the past.
Well, we can certainly try.
Our noble line depends on it.
Okay, guys. Unless you can think of anything else to do, I think we have a little trip to the Abbey in store.
Any idea how many worshippers are up there?
The only one we know of is the Abbot himself. We don't know his true name or where he came from. But I'd be wary talking with him. This is only asking for him to do this because we're desperate. But many around here have heard rumors that he's Strahd's servant, and that he might be a vampire himself in disguise. No one's visited that Abbey in 10 years, and the last one that did didn't return.
Well, I think it's time we go say hello.
I think we should.
Ooh, you guys are crazy. This is none of the Corvum. But then again, you get to take out all those vine things, so it seems to be your kind of MO. Well, we're going to take the rest of these over to Valaki. And we wish you safe travels.
You stay safe as well.
We'll do our best.
And watch out for those wildlings.
Always do. And those two go back to their wagon with the other 3 kegs and head out. At this point, it's probably around lunchtime.
How far is the Abbey?
You see a narrow road that zigzags up the mountainside to it. And it seems to be the only way up there.
About how far is it up there?
Let's see. About 400 feet. You know, not too high.
Okay. Start heading that way then.
Yeah.
Okay. This road hugs the cliff, 10 foot wide, and is 10 foot wide. It's covered in a loose gravel with chunks of broken rock. The ascent is slow and somewhat treacherous as the air grows colder as you near the top.
Can I run up to the side of the mountain?
Not without risking having rocks like chip off and fall down. I mean, you still
Even with
can.
a light-footed monk?
Yeah, sure.
Not up the road. I'm talking about the sheer cliff wall.
Yeah, yeah. I know. Did you want to do that?
Yeah, go ahead and go up there and
all right, give me an athletics.
Sure, clear.
Give me an athletics check since you're climbing.
Do we have a plan?
Do we ever have a plan?
18.
Gonna say exactly the same thing.
I mean, yeah, and sometimes it's been a little chaotic.
With an 18, it is still slow but steady, but you move up the road a lot faster than everybody else. It's not as easy.
Well-
It's not as much of a shortcut as you thought it was, but it definitely would take everyone else quite a while to catch up.
To be clear, I wasn't talking about climbing. I'm talking about dashing off the wall.
Yeah, it's like a vertical thing. You would need to, even if you're Jackie Chaning it, it's still 400 feet. It'd still
Just
take a
afraid to
bit.
stare my way up there.
I'm trying to find the thing. I'm going to send you guys. Essentially, it's a zoomed-in map of the Abbey itself. Okay. Boop. For those at home, you're going to have to deal with me just zooming in. But that's just fine.
What are you sending it to?
The Discord.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I don't know if the player version doesn't mark. Yeah, it does. It does mark the ascent of how high up you're going. Keep in mind that up isn't north, it's east on that map. And as you reach the top, Saxton, since you are definitely there at least 15 minutes, if not more, earlier than everybody else, you can see that this road climbs up above the mist, and light dusting of snow covers a lot of the trees and the rocky earth up here. And as you reach the top, you can see that the gravel road eventually goes and passes between two small stone outbuildings on either side, which stretches a 5-foot-high, 3-foot-thick wall of jumbled stones held together with mortar. Blocking the road are iron gates attached to the outbuildings by rusty hinges. They appear to be unlocked.
Let's go in.
Where's the fun
Well-
if they're not locked?
We're still getting. I mean,
Sa-
we're still
Saxton, do
walking.
you do anything, or do you wait for everybody else?
Just go in.
Well, if it's clear, I'll wait for them to get up here.
Okay.
Just making sure there was no surprises by taking a flanking maneuver up here.
While waiting up there, you think you hear a snap of a tree branch. And you turn
I
around.
punched the tree.
You turn around and look in that direction, and you see nothing. Something smells weird, though.
Like, what kind of smell?
Like things are dead, but I mean, kind of used to that around here.
Ah, the smell of decay.
Hmm. You hear in the distance, past this gate and in the Abbey itself, maniacal laughter. And the bell rings again at the tower of the Abbey, which all of you definitely hear.
The smell and the sound of the twig snapping, is it originating from the same area?
No. Saxton, you feel a slight warmth over your shoulder, and you hear somebody whisper your name in a sultry female voice. And you turn back around, and you don't see anything. But you could have sworn your shadow moved when you didn't.
Can I punch my shadow?
Yeah, sure.
punch.
You hear
Tell
you
me
hear
you-
laughter, female laughter in the winds.
All right. Whoever you are, show yourself.
And that's when everybody else shows up.
Oh. How hard did you punch the ground?
And who are you talking to?
There's something here. Some kind of invisible phantasm or something. I hear voices. Well, besides the normal voices I hear.
You know what? I actually trust you.
Okay,
Gonna-
fine. I'll be the one to doubt him.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
cast
I don't exactly believe it either.
see invisibility just in case. On myself.
Okay. You don't see anything. Anything extra, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it lasts an hour, so it's just like to have it active.
Okay. Make sure to remind me, because I'll probably forget. But I'll try to keep it in mind.
Remind you of what?
That he can see invisible things.
That was being facetious.
Oh, sorry.
Felicia.
It's such a low energy game tonight. I'm just trying to help lift the mood a little bit.
Well,
Jesus.
thank you. It helped actually. You
Low energy. After all of 2020, we're fighting tooth and nail just to survive this long.
And 2020 or 2021 basically just told 2020 to hold its beer.
There's beer.
No.
Hmm.
It's only 21. There's no beer.
coming out from the other side of the gate, you hear the gate creak open very loudly. And coming closer to you are what I can only describe as monstrosities. They appear like they might have been some kind of folk in the past. They're like a mix of like all these different animals at once. So the first one, they go into vivid detail in this. So appears to be a batra that squats instead of standing upright. They have patches of horse-like, donkey-like fur that covers their face and body. They have one bat ear and one wolf ear. But they have a wolf's snout and fangs. Their arms and hands are still batra, but the legs and feet are of like a lion's. And they have a donkey's tail. And the other one is also maybe was a batra, and the left side of the face seems to be covered with lizard-like scales, with the right with wolf fur all over it. Between those tufts, you can barely make out like a bit of a nose of a bat. One of the eyes appears to be of a feline's, and their fingers and hands seem to resemble cat's paws, but with opposable thumbs. And they're wearing a gray cloak. The first one is carrying a spade. And as they come up towards you all, they say, the one with the shovel says, "Alright, what we got here?" As it comes up, squatting towards you.
Good afternoon.
So there was 2 or 3 of them.
2.
Out of character. Oh, sorry.
I was going to ask, how far away from the gate are the distance between us?
I would say at this point they're like 50-ish feet.
Good. Alrighty.
So, out of character, I just want to ask if we somehow managed to slip into the realm of Fullmetal Alchemist.
Oh
In
no.
character, I want to ask, hey, Saxton, are these relatives of yours?
You know, I've never punted a mouse yet.
Good afternoon. You?
Yeah.
We were wondering, is the Abbot in here?
Oh, you came to see the Abbot.
Yes.
And of course they came to see the abbot. This is the other one, just punches him in the shoulder.
I mean, we were
Whines a
told it
little bit.
was the only one living here. We are pleasantly surprised. There's more people. I think.
Are you now? Is the one with the cat eye gives you like a stink eye with that eye. And why do you want to see the abbot? Boy, they probably just want to see me get my wise advice. This is the other one that I can't decide on an accent for.
So I'm sorry, we've been a little rude. So I'm Tim-Tam. Tim-Tam. These are my friends. Who are you? Do you have what were your names?
My name is Otto. Says the one with the spade. And he tries to stand a bit upright, but you can tell he can't actually stand upright. He appears to have some kind of severe scoliosis of some kind. And the other one with the cat eye says,
I move 30 feet closer to them.
okay. They both get into kind of a defensive stance. Not sure what you're doing. Oi, 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 oi! Or sorry. Oi, oi, what are you doing? This is the
Trying to
cat-eyed
get a
one.
closer look. I couldn't really tell what's going on in front of me.
You see that, and the cat eye one like puts up like a hood, and they like try to hide themselves more, and the other one's like, "Well, I am quite pretty, you know. If you want to, you know, get a good look, here you go." Yeah.
Did he just get flashed by an NPC?
I was going more of like he was like feeling himself creepily, but either works.
So, yes, we're here to see the Abbot, not Costello and his other sidekick.
Hey, Siegfried. You have such a weird name, but that's okay. If they're just here to see the abbot, then why don't we just have them see the abbot? We'll take you to the courtroom. Come on, follow me. Come on.
How many people is living in here?
Oh, I have a lot of people. A lot of people. None of them are as beautiful and as smart as me, though. So if you want to hear any advice, talk to me. You could go with like you should have more of a snout and less of a beak. I think you'd be prettier if you had like a snout.
Well, I like not having lips. I don't know. It seems uncomfortable.
I mean, she's kind of close over there because she's got a snout, but not as nice of a snout as me, of course.
I was just wondering, what do you do here? Like, what's the?
Oh, we just guard the gate. We were just sleeping over there, and then we heard you guys yelling at stuff, and you just point, and he points on the other side of the wall, and you just see like animal furs just sitting on the ground.
And who takes care of the food and?
Oh,
all
the
that
Abbot.
stuff?
Oh, the Abbot does. Oh, and my older
Oh.
brother.
So you're like a family here.
Yeah, we're the Bellevues.
And how many of your family are here?
Too many for your brain to comprehend.
Do you really want to try that?
Aren't you?
I don't think they mean us any harm. I think they're just doing their job, right? Otto and Siegfried.
Yeah, let
are
me-
you not?
Let me just like here's it's like Siegfried. Let me just put it in Zoom for you.
Siegfried.
Yeah. She seems very standoffish, and she's just goes, "Huh." And she moves further ahead than the rest of the group. And says, Ali, don't gotta mind my sister. She's very skeptical of everybody. She thinks everybody's gonna kill her. What a loon.
Yes, why would anyone do that?
What a loon.
Well, some people is very close-minded, I guess.
You notice both of them smell like, I know it's been a very long time for everybody, but it smells like day 3 of a convention and none of them have bathed.
Oh, so that's where the wall of funk was coming from.
That's, yeah, you immediately like, oh, that's the smell.
Suddenly wishing it was a dark matter campaign so I could turn the olfactory senses off. Anyways.
So do any of your siblings happen to be invisible? Because I heard someone whispering out there.
No, none of my brothers and sisters and uncles and nephews and nieces and second twice removed stepbrothers are of any kind of invisibility. If they were, I would have seen them and told them to cut it out. Because I have the best eyes.
So, who is the uncle brother dad here?
I just imagine Scotty trying to trace this family tree, and it turns out to be a maze, a hedge maze somewhere.
Oh, his name's Mishka. He's in the well. Don't look in the well. He likes to kill people. As you guys.
Before or after 7 days.
Mishka.
That's the name of the adventure. No joke.
I don't like that.
Well, as you're having this conversation, they are slowly leading you somewhere. There it is. Courtyard. The thick fog in here that fills this courtyard swirls as if eager to escape. The courtyard is surrounded by a 15-foot-high curtain wall, of which stand several guards with their backs to you, or so it seems at first. As you enter, it's clear now that the guards are merely scarecrows. Wooden doors in the north lead into the Abbey's 2 wings. In the center of the courtyard is a stone well fitted with an iron winch, of which a rope and a bucket are attached. Along the perimeter, tucked under the overhanging wall, are several stone sheds with padlocked wooden doors, as well as 3 shallow alcoves that contain wooden troughs. 2 wooden posts, pounded into the rocky earth, have iron rings bolted to them, and chained to one of them is a batra that actually does have bat wings, but also has spider mandibles. You hear the quiet that you all hear is shattered by horrible screams coming from the sheds that you can see.
There's the other shoe.
Do any of the scarecrows look like they're breathing?
No.
Okay, just making sure. Because I think we just walked into the cabin in the woods.
It's fine.
I seriously doubt that.
Otto and Siegfried, what was that?
Oh, that was just my family. They have to
Doing what?
They have to be. The Abbot said to lock them up. Said they're crazy.
Everyone.
Everyone.
Except you two?
Except us 2. And my older brother.
Who's your older brother? And apparently Mishka, who's in the well.
Oh yeah, we've been trying to get him out for a while now. He never leaves. Hey, stay away from my hole! You hear from the well.
I'm going to turn to the others and
They're gonna steal my gnomes! Uncle
let me know when you want
Uncle
them
Mishka,
to.
there's no such thing as gnomes.
Is that Abbott's last name Elric by any chance?
Not that I know of. Oh yeah, I should go get him. I'll be back. And he runs off.
Oh God, he's leaving us here.
And you're alone
I think we should be fine.
in this misty
Just
courtyard,
like
and you hear like
any
screaming
time.
coming from the sheds and inside the abbey a little bit. And you just see there,
Mhm.
sitting there chained, is another one of these individuals. They're just kind of just sitting there, all sad, slouched over. They have long, stringy black fur that hides much of their face on the front side. But you can clearly visibly see spider mandibles instead of teeth and a jaw in this Batra. Their arms already have like the bit of the wings. Batras already have that, just like how the birdfolk have a little bit of the wings on their forearms. But these are actually like full grown like bat wings to scale. And you can see cloven hooves or a cloven hoof, like a horse hoof, in place of her right foot.
So I believe we've walked into the Abbot of Dr. Moreau.
I was thinking Hyde or Frankenstein, but okay.
With the animals, more makes, yeah.
She sees she like lifts her head and sees all of you, and she just like stares at you all. She's about 30 feet away.
I'll stare back.
She takes a step back, continues staring.
Intensify stare.
Saxton, I think she's scared.
She takes a few steps back.
That's the point, Hemlock. We don't know what these people are capable of.
And the second if you ever look away, the second you do that, she turns around, she tries to fly away. And as you see her flap her wings and try to fly away, the chains that are attached to the shackles on her hands and onto the iron pikes in the ground hold her in place, and it yanks her back, and she falls back down to the ground. And she shuffles away from you all, very scared. With nowhere to hide. Stay back!
I'm going
Stay back!
to walk.
Stay back! You hear inside the
I'm
shacks,
going to-
stay back! Stay back! Stay back! Ah! And just like a bunch of maniac howling and laughter.
I'm gonna walk really slowly to her with my hands up.
She attempts to fly away again. And this time she doesn't fly at full speed, but she keeps herself up in the air away from you. You're not gonna kill me!
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna kill you. I promise. I swear on my life.
You swear on your life, that's what they all say. There.
Well, this time
There's people everywhere around that are trying to kill me. I'm wanted in 15 countries.
Why are they trying to kill you?
I don't know. I didn't do anything, I swear. You're just trying to get me to confess to something, aren't you?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. I want to sneak away and try and get eyes on whatever's in the sheds, despite how much of a nightmare I'm in for.
Okay. As you get closer, give me a dexterity save.
Oh, crap. Oh, well, at least it's my best stat. 17.
Okay. You easily jerk your head back away in time as a random hand reaches out of one of the sheds, the little window in the shed. And then their hand like scratches the wood on the exterior, and they're like, "Where are you going, little man? Where are you going? I just wanted to squeeze ya."
Next shed.
Next shed, you hear The Force is with me, I'm the one with the Force. The Force is with me, I'm the one with the Force. The Force is with me, I'm the one with the Force. The Force is with me, I'm the one with the Force. And the Force is with me, I'm the one with the Force. And they just keep doing that, and they're just like in a fetal position rocking. But both of them are completely different. They don't have descriptions on them, but they're all Batra with like random limbs and stuff with various animal parts. Actually, you know what? I'll roll for it. I'll let you roll for it. Give me a d20 roll.
Got myself into 3.
You notice that the one that's rocking themselves in place, they have visible gills. And the one that you were talking with before, I'll roll for it. Also has, it's like Creature of the Black Lagoon hand.
Okay, so that was a mistake.
You hear in a nearby shed your exact voice say, "Well, that was a mistake." I'm gonna go check these in your voice.
I'm going to just completely ignore that and walk away.
I'm gonna go check these. And a bunch of other various lunacies are going on in those sheds. Meanwhile, Hemlock, she's still flying in the air with the chains on her. And she's like, "Well, if you're not going to kill me, you should free me so they can't get me. That's why they have me here. They think I'm crazy and they're going to kill me because I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy." You hear from the well, "She's crazy. Shut up." She's like, "No."
What's your name, ma'am?
My name? It's Marzina.
Your name? Marzina. Okay.
You're with that Strahd thing, aren't you? I hear that Strahd likes to kill people.
I'm not him.
And you're a pretty
I'm
girl.
not with him.
You're a pretty girl. I hear he likes pretty girls. You're probably one of his brides.
Do I look like no, but thank you very much. You're very pretty too.
No, she's definitely not one of those. You hear as the tension in the area seems to go from mania to peaceful. And coming out into the courtyard is the Abbot. The Abbot is a very tall, white crane wearing priestly gowns of the Dawn Mother. He looks like he's in his young 20s. And he seems to be, like, the white on him seems to almost, like, give a glow on its own. Seems almost otherworldly in terms of how flawless his beak and such is. Like a 20 charisma.
Oh.
Kind of thing. Take with that what you will. And he says, "And what might you be wanting to do here, I wonder?" Hemlock, right?
Oh boy. Hello. You must be the Abbey of the Abbot of St. Marcovia. How are you? I was just talking to your friend here.
Oh, that's not my friend. She's a patient. Calm down, Marzina. It's okay. And she still seems fairly nervous, but she slowly comes back down. And she still keeps her distance away from everybody. But it seems like he's calmed her down somewhat. Look, Otto brought you food. And then Otto, he looks over, and Otto, the one with the shovel, doesn't have a shovel anymore. And you notice him come over, and he's got an empty wooden bowl, and he just has like soup all over his snout. He's like, "Oh, sorry, I was hungry. You know, that's okay. Can you get another one for her?" And he just nods and he goes back inside. I haven't had visitors in a long time.
Yeah, that's what we heard. We heard that you were living here all by yourself. I don't know if this was supposed to be a secret. If it was, I apologize.
No, Tim-Tam, it's not a secret at all.
Okay.
Do not worry, Nyhm. I will not harm you.
How do you know our names?
I know everyone's names in this valley.
How?
I have my sources. Did you come to help me with my issues? The ones I was using, the issues that could rid this land of Strahd.
Well, we actually came here to help with somebody else's issues, but I think this one takes a little bit priority if it can rid the Valley of Strahd.
That's good to hear. Follow
all
me.
of these people are they your patients too?
They've turned from less of patients and more of orphans in their own way. Come, follow me. And he turns around and he heads towards... Let's see. He heads towards one of the buildings, but I gotta make sure which one. Because the Abbey has like a west wing and a east wing. So let me double check. I believe he would take you all. Just a moment. Here we go. Okay, yeah, so he takes you to the northern wing. There's no west wing. And as he walks that way, you notice that he seems to have a bit of grace to his step. It's almost like every single step and everything he does is flawless. His posture is perfect. He smells of lavender. And not in like, he's not like perfect in like a, oh, he's like sexy, but more in like the, he's just seems to not have any flaws to him. And in that alone makes him fairly creepy. As he leads you there, and he opens the door and shows his hand to let you guys in. And you can hear inside gentle sounding music.
So.
Do you head inside?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
The gentle sounding music seems to trickle down from upstairs, and it seems to be played on a single-stringed instrument by some unseen master. The area that you come into is one large 50-foot square room with arch-leaded glass windows. A cauldron sits on an iron rack, both a fire and a hearth, while above the fireplace mantle hangs a golden disc engraved with the symbol of the sun and 2 feathers. One corner, a wooden staircase climbs to the upper level, while another cornerstone staircase descends into darkness. Several chairs surround a wooden table that stretches nearly the length of the room. Wooden dishware and a gold candelabra are neatly arranged on the table, standing behind which you see a young bachelor woman wearing a very worn wedding dress. And it seems to be slightly torn. And she has the and she's facing away from you all, and you notice that she's the one playing the music. Liar.
I'm scared.
And
Hello?
She doesn't respond. And he says, "Don't worry. Vasilka is shy. But she's the key to solving everything." Vasilka, you can stop now. And she stops playing, and she turns around, and you notice that she has the wedding veil over her face. Allow me to explain. Strahd was turned into an unholy abomination of the Empire hundreds of years ago. There are powers in these lands, dark powers, that corrupted him and turned him into what he is today. I came to these lands in order to save him, to remove this corruption. And the key to it all is the reason why he fell in the first place. He is looking for the woman that he loved, who he had lost. A woman named Tatiana. I have traveled to the Emperor Temples in the mountains to the south, and have gathered information that would be very useful in trying to fix these endeavors. And I am almost done. I'm just missing one thing. And he uses his hand to open the veil, and as he opens the veil, you notice that it's a bachelor woman, but her face is missing. And you just see muscle and sinew. And you see stitch marks across parts of the head and neck going downwards. And then that's when you notice that on her hands themselves, there are also stitch marks of various different, slightly different white-furred bachelor figures.
Okay.
Would one of you be willing to part with your face? Maybe Hemlock?
Excuse me?
You can survive without it. And it would be for the greater good.
Greater good is better than my ass, my foot up your ass? No. Are you serious?
Language. Of course I'm serious. I'm always serious. I'm surprised such foul language came from someone as nice as you. Someone who values friendship and the bonds with other people more than anything else.
I'm surprised it took this long for Saxton to point your face.
I'm just stretching and warming up in the background.
So,
All right.
I have to say, I don't think that plan would work with any of our faces. It would probably be better with a Badra's, wouldn't it?
Oh, that would be easy to do with a Mapach's face. Just a little stretch here. Do a little bit of chemical burn on the fur here. It wouldn't be that much different.
Hemlock, you good?
Sir, hang on a second.
Or maybe yours,
Just,
Nyhm. You also do have a snout. I could work with that.
just let me know. Just
Hang on.
stretching back here.
hang on, Saxton. Okay.
Right.
In what world do you have the right? Okay. I don't know what this whole thing is here. I've tried to be quiet for a very long time. I don't know the whole story. I don't know anything, okay? But
He
This is
nods.
the lie.
He nods understandingly. Scoots out a chair, sits down, crosses a leg, and listens.
okay. First of all, none of our faces would be great for Strahd because he dislikes us a lot. If you were gonna go for the whole thing with Tatiana,
You seem to have a liking to you. But I understand a bachelor would be more suited. Do you know of anyone that would be better suited?
I think we beat you to the punch already. My friend Irina, already died and is now the corpse in Strahd's arms.
I'm sorry. Did she die peacefully, at least?
No.
Hmm.
I think this is the straw that finally broke Hemlock.
Not many do in this valley, unfortunately.
All right.
I mean, there's so many questions. Like, for example,
How
all these
long
people
ago
you
did
have-
she? How long ago did she die?
I don't know.
2 weeks.
How long has it been?
I'm gonna say it's actually only been a week. You guys do a lot of stuff every day.
She got turned into a vampire. I was in the castle. I stabbed her in her brother stabbed her in the heart, and then now she's a corpse, and he's just dragging her along. So who knows? Either way.
Oh dear. He only stabbed her in the heart?
Was there something else we were supposed to do?
And she's not at rest. She just can't move. Stabbing a vampire in the heart only makes them unable to move. It does not kill them.
Then what would?
But how do you know?
Holy
it's so
energy
magic?
or enough damage done to their body in general. Though, depending on what kind of vampire, it can be quite tricky. If she is a spawn, which I assume she is, then that alone should be able to do the trick. Daylight would also work very, very well. However, Strahd is a different story. He's even more than a normal vampire lord. I have tried smiting him in the past. It doesn't work. He always comes back.
What were you gonna say, Tim-Tam?
I was just wondering. I mean, it's not like something that's been bothering me since we entered here. Like, are your patients like, did they come here willingly? They subject to the changes willingly?
Well, the Belleviews were a family that lived in Krezk about 50 years ago. It's okay, kitty cat. It's all right.
There's a cat here.
Meow. Meow, bitch! Anyway, the Belleviews were weak peasants, farmers. They were tired of Strahd's reign, and they're wanting to be more powerful, and they asked me if I could help. And I did what I could. I gave them augmentations that could make them jump higher, that could make them fly, that could allow them to have weapons from their own body that they could use. But unfortunately, there were some side effects I did not foresee that I've been trying to work out over the last few years. These augmentations to their bodies seem to mess with their sanity. If I just have a few
Didn't
more test
notice it at
subjects,
all.
I should be able to perfect it any day now.
And yeah, and her. the bride you're making,
Yes.
also those parts are also given voluntarily?
They are found in the lands from bodies that don't need them anymore.
I'm just gonna skip to the front of the line here.
It's unfortunate.
And ask,
It's unfortunate that this Irina is a vampire and she's not actually dead. Because then we could just bring her cadaver here, and I could just take her face right in there.
You're not going to ask us to become experiments, are you?
Not unless you want to.
You still got this Hemlock.
I believe in consent. I am
You?
a man of the Dawn Mother, after all.
Are you?
Of course.
Do you think the Dawn Mother would be very I'm not a very religious person, but do you believe that the Dawn Mother would want you to do this?
Yes. If it meant ridding this land of evil.
So
Suddenly
Your
he's
logic.
disappeared, and he's right behind Hemlock. And he says, "Where'd you get that pendant?" As he's looking at the pendant you have.
The holy symbol?
Yes. That is an
Uh,
ancient artifact. It's very powerful. I'm sure it's been of great use to you.
it has.
I sense much holy energy coming from it.
Just gonna drop to the ground, start doing some push-ups.
Oh, I would suggest over there. We have a floor mat over there. Every Sunday
over
we
there?
have
Okay.
yoga night.
Oh, all right.
Yes, the gym is on the other side of.
You go to the other side of the room, and there's like a nice area to do that.
Your logic is to make a bride
Yes.
from different parts of different women
That
I'm
no
guessing,
longer
or men
that
or
no longer
them.
need it.
In what definition for you is no longer need it? You mean you pick it off of corpses, or you pick it off of people walking around the street that you are like, hey, can I have your hand?
Those that have deceased, for their spirit has left their corporal shell. They no longer need it.
Hey, Hemlock, you died, didn't you?
I did.
I'm glad you're doing better.
I got better.
I'm sorry about your face, though. I know you're using magic to hide it. But I can heal that for you if you want.
To be fair, this guy isn't hurting anybody innocent, anybody innocent. Everybody that's here came to him willingly, and he's doing a damn decent job considering all he's getting to work with are corpses, and he's trying to help the entire valley. You may not completely agree with the methodology, but he hasn't hurt anybody.
I mean, that's pretty much why he's alive, and the fact that if we kill him, all these people will die, probably. Because we're not gonna take care of them, right?
I got a question for the Abbot real quick.
Yes, yes, Saxton, my child.
I said, get up and just dust myself off. While I was outside waiting for my mates to get up here, I heard someone whispering in my ear. Happen to know anything about that?
He moves very swiftly towards you, but not in like a rushed manner. It seems like almost like he just like slide hovers right next to you. And before you can even react, he's put his hand on your forehead. But instead of feeling a hostility or a need to defend yourself, it feels almost like you're a child again. and you're a little fledgling, and it's your mom feeling your forehead from when you had a cold when you were a child. And he quickly takes his hand off, and he says, "Oh dear. It appears that you have Kren's blessing on you."
I'm sorry. What's that?
And you don't have much time. Tonight you will turn.
Turn what? Into bed?
Into a beast.
Yes.
Into a
yes.
monster that we have no self-control and will kill all in their path.
Compared to the one who's killed everything in its path thus far?
So there's Mr. Shake.
Yes. A werewolf, if you will.
Oh, where what?
A werewolf. You will turn into a werewolf. I have a book on it. And he goes over towards the bookshelf that's in here. And he takes out a book. And it says Van Richten's Guide to Lycanthropy. Leatherbound. Very faded golden
First edition.
foil font on it.
I don't know what you're on about, mate. I feel completely fine.
Oh, of course you do. You probably feel much better than normal, actually. Almost restless. I can remove that blessing from you.
Real quick. With connection to all, I can see people's keyholes. What does his look like?
Give me a charisma roll.
Charisma. It's bossy. So it's a 26.
You attempt to look at his keyhole. And as you do, at first you don't see it. You just see this blinding light. And the light, eventually your eyes seem to adjust to it. And you can see the keyhole. And it seems almost golden light coming from it. But you also notice that the golden light has a bit of a shadow outcast on it.
Okay. It's actually a 22. Would that change anything?
Nah, it'd be about the same.
Okay. Okay. I don't like that.
But enough about me. I'll let you ponder that for a while. I can see it's troubling for you, to say the least. Both you, Saxton, and for you, Hemlock.
Well,
But
allow me to.
you're not here for me. I heard that somebody needed my gifts, and you were messengers.
Real quick, I'm not going to bird-splain, but if you try to take her face, I'm going to take your everything.
No.
Would you give me his face?
Intimidation won't work on me, Saxton.
Oh, mate. I'm not trying to intimidate
No matter
you.
what you do to me, your sins will come over twice over you from the Dawn Mother.
She can get in line.
Okay, everybody, stop. He's not being hostile, and he's already proven that he's not going to take anybody's face that isn't willing to do so, unless it's a corpse. There is absolutely no reason to start a fight here.
No, I mean, technically he asked for Hemlock's face if he was willing, but that's not the point. I mean, I understand.
Yeah, he asked. That's exactly the point. He
Yeah,
didn't
no.
demand. He's not trying to rip it off.
Sure, I mean, the problem is like, though, do we want to get him involved in the?
Vasilka, you can rest upstairs. She gently bows, and she stomps up the stairs. Almost a robotic-like fashion. Still working on the legs, but a bit more grace to her step. Sir, I have your soup. Oh, yes, come in. Opening the door, you see coming in another one of these weird people. Let me get his descriptors. Because of course he has descriptors.
Getting a big stuff in here. I'm gonna go outside and get a breath of air. Holler if you need me.
Just outside the door, as you open the door, is this man, and he's a Batra with two heads. One head looks like a normal Batra's. The others looks like a tiny, shriveled up one with just patches, little bits of fur on it, and it seems to be resting on their right shoulder, growing out of their neck. And he's holding a bowl that seems to have some soup in it. And he goes, "Oh, pardon me." And he goes in. And then the rest of you see this man. You notice that he has, in addition to that, his left hand is a crab hand. It's crab claw. Crab pincher. That's what I'm looking for. And his right foot is a bear's foot. And he's wearing hempen robes. And he puts the bowl of soup down. He goes, "Oh, we have guests." Yes. Would any of you like any soup? It's made with vegetables grown in the very gardens here. Potatoes and carrots and beets.
Sounds good.
Is everybody else eating the soup?
I will.
No.
Okay. I was gonna say, no. No, thank you. I'm fine.
I hate to admit it, but I have like some respect for the craft.
Cloven, could you get one extra bowl for our Corvum friend here? Yes. Oh, yes, of course. And he goes to leave, and the tiny shriveled head, like its face is kind of like, so it's not like its eyes aren't really open or anything, but you swear it kind of like seemed to register that you're there as it goes by. Well, who is this person that needs my blessings?
So you have the reputation to be able to perform miracles. At least that's what they say that you did many years ago.
I still do.
So yeah, there's this family who has lost all their children. The last son, I think, died like 2 weeks ago, and they are desperate for help. If you can, what they said, bring him back?
Oh, the Krezkovs. Yes, I was there at their funeral just the other day. It is a shame. All of their children seem to have poor constitution. Did you know that their family, their ancestors, built this abbey that we're in? They built the whole village from nothing.
They are worried their legacy will die with them.
Hmm.
Which, like what you say, seems like a pretty important legacy.
I can help them.
But what's your idea of bringing the child back? Because I don't know if they would accept any, kind of.
Oh, I don't wish for any
Oh.
payment. And he gets up slowly.
Well, I don't think that's even the problem. I mean, by your line of work, I don't know if they would be, or anyone would be comfortable in town with, let's say, I don't know, you grab the, I really don't know how you work, but necromancy, it's like a really difficult path, and if you will alter the body of the child or something, people may get upset.
Oh, the alterations would be minimal. See,
Oh,
unlike your artificy, my powers, my spells come from a greater power. He points towards the symbol of the Dawn Mother. They will grace their divine powers upon the vessel and bring the soul back from the afterlife and put it back into its mortal shell.
okay, I was just like making sure everybody understood what it meant or what were the consequences, because, there's no misunderstanding. I mean, we are here just to bring you the message and see if you were willing, which I'm really appreciative that you are. You seem like a really good person who just means good.
Thank you. You all seem like good people.
Question.
Yes, my child.
Not sure I like that. If you did actually bring him back, would the bloodline be able to continue? Or is it just that he's brought back?
It should be able to continue.
Should.
I can't predict the future.
Okay, another quick question. He's been dead at least a week.
He's been dead for
damage.
about 3 days.
Oh.
Okay, so there is going to be some type of decay.
I'll be able to
Is that
restore.
the-
I'll be able to restore what was lost.
Are those the alterations you're talking about, or are we talking that he's going to look like some of your patients?
Oh no, not at all. I'll bring him back to how he was when he was alive. There's no
What
need
would
for
you
any of
need?
that.
Uh,
I mean, unless they would want those augmentations. But it sounds like all they want is for me to bring him back, which I can easily do.
But would you need something special? Can we help in some way?
All I would need is your graces. And he gets up and he says, I shall go and do this for them. This is the least I can do for what their ancestors did for this place. Brought safety to these people.
Sounds reasonable.
And he gets up and he says, excuse me, and gives you all a slight bow. And he goes, casually walks to the door, and he opens the door and leaves.
Do I have my soup?
As he's
About to ask
leaving,
if we're going with him.
as he's leaving, Cloven comes in with your soup. And I'm going to give him a different voice, because why not? Ah, geez, here's your soup.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're
I'm
welcome.
starving and-
Now we get the Muppets. I do want
Yay!
to call after.
Again.
I'm sorry. That caught me off guard. I do want to call after the Abbot and ask if we're just to wait here.
Yes? Oh, you can join me if you wish. Or you can rest at the Abbey.
Guys and gal.
I want to see it.
You can take the bowl
Take
with
your
you.
soup with-
It is fine.
Let's take out at the Abbey.
It's really good and it's so warm. It's some of the best things I've tasted since I got here.
Oh, you don't need to compliment. You don't need to give me compliments on the soup. I know it's plain.
Well, plain for this land, it's not half bad.
Well, thank you. Well, actually, you should thank Cloven when we get back. He makes the soup.
Okay.
And the Abbot and the rest of you head back down the winding trail. And the Abbot takes his sweet ass time. He's not moving fast. He just walks down. If any of you wanted to glide down, you could. Quite easily from here. When you're at the very top, top of the Abbey, it was 700 feet above the village. You could easily glide past the village from there.
I would like to talk to the Abbot for a second.
Yes.
I say
He has his hands in like the sleeves, just walking.
yeah, the weird religious person thing that you see in movies. Hi, I'm really sorry about what I said before. Nym's right. I kind of overreacted.
You look like you've been through a lot. You are forgiven.
That's what I wanted to talk to you about. One of the things that I went through was very upsetting. And I look on my back to the construct boy that is still strapped there. I say, are you in the business of bringing back souls to constructs?
How peculiar. By which construct do you mean?
Well, I'm not going to get him out right now because we're kind of walking down a 7-foot drop. But
he would stop, I guess.
I don't want to distract you from. I pull out Chip, whose constructness is just very plain right now.
May I see him?
I guess.
Sorry, I immediately thought of the dumb PogChamp meme when I did that. Anyway, he takes what's left of the body, and he seems to caress it like it's a child. He even holds the back of its head. And he examines the Jerbeen construct. And he says, I should be able to revive them. It's amazing. It appears that there was a soul in this vessel, made of metal and wood.
Is it gonna be bad? Like, be for real with me. I've been through a lot. We've already discussed this. I don't think I could take it not being the same when he comes back. So be real with me. Are they the same when they come back?
I have to be honest with you. I'm not sure what will happen. I have never done that before with a construct. But I do have the powers that could help. I could at least try.
Would you be able to tell us whose soul it is and it was inside of this construct?
I'll ask when I bring them back.
Okay, that would be really wonderful.
I can only do this once a week, though.
Well,
Would you rather have me do this now?
No, I would rather you help the people who ask for our help. I think that if that boy is in the ground for any much longer, he's going to start smelling, and I don't like that. So please, this was just a request, and I know it's kind of silly of me to even ask, since how I treated you was so abhorrent. But I was in shock, and I'm sorry.
Everyone else, as you're going down this treacherous road, it's steep. It's like 10 feet wide, so I guess it's not narrow, but it's a bunch of loose rock and gravel. So a lot of you will tend to like slip on the gravel and stuff as you're going down. You're like treading very carefully. And the abbot, he just seems to walk down it like it's just a normal, like a paved road. Like it's no big deal. And he stops and he puts his hand on your shoulder, Hemlock. And it is warm. And he says, as I said, you are forgiven. These lands are treacherous, and it is wise for you to not trust someone when you first meet them. And then he continues going down.
I take my construct son back, I put him in the bundle, and I sling it on my back.
Bit of a question about that.
Oh. Is that in character or?
Yes, in character.
Okay. Yes.
Could you tell if the soul was there willingly in the first place?
No.
I mean, the thing is, like, for real, we know.
How did they behave? Were they nice?
They were fine. I mean, despite people, thinking that he was firewood, he was just, something.
Did he have
a life?
Did he have a name?
Yeah. We gave him a name. His name was Chip.
Chip. And I will bring Chip back.
For all we know, for what we know, being in a construct for a soul, it's way better than being trapped here. So.
Says he was trapped here.
Pretty sure his soul that hasn't left this valley.
Yeah.
Oh. Touche.
So, their soul. So I think we owe Chip at least the rest of being a construct, as awful as it sounds.
And it is.
But first things first, yeah.
And it is then we will transition to you all being back in the village. And as the abbot comes down and the rest of you are there, people are in skeptical. And at first they think he's going over towards the pond. It's in the northern part of the village. But they see him coming into the village. And they seem a bit worried. and people will close their doors and such as you all head to the burgomaster's cottage. And as you get there, the burgomaster's there. And he looks nervous, but his wife looks confident. And she says, "Well, can you do it?" And the abbot gives a slight smile and nods. Says, "Do you have the body?" "We do. But it'll take a while to dig him up." Abbott says, "Understandable." And father goes in the back, and he digs up a child-sized coffin. Pulls out a crowbar and gets the lid off. And as he does, you see inside a tiny little Batra boy. Seems to be of adolescent age. His fur was starting to molt into his adult fur coat, but he wasn't really there. You notice he's dressed in his Sunday best, and his arms are like this. If any of you want to do medicine checks, you can.
Literally, just tell me he's dead, or
Well, no, dead's like obvious.
Okay, I got a 17.
Okay. Yeah. As the abbot said, it is true he must have died maybe a few days ago. But he does have a very almost sickly like complexion. And you weren't sure if that was because of him dying, but it probably was because of his cause of death as well. He has no physical problems with his body, so there's like no cut marks or the flesh hasn't rotted off his face or anything. And
Can I ask how he died?
the Abbey was starting to put his hand up onto the forehead, and he stops. And he looks up at the parents. And the parents are holding each other's hands. And the dad says, "Died in his sleep. He just stopped coughing, and that's when we knew." Now, do what you have to do, Abbott. I'm not sure how long I can sit here and watch. And the Abbey goes to put his hand on the boy's forehead. And as he puts the hand on the boy's forehead, you notice his palm glowing white with holy light. And the light seems to grow. And we pan out to like a movie scene where you see like the village from a distance, and you can see almost like a star as the light is glowing from there. And then we go back to your guys' perspective, where it's just like this blinding light that's coming from the hand. And you can actually hear like this low humming noise. And then you hear a deep inhale. And I'll give you guys a choice. Who wants to roll the D100?
Oh no.
If none of you want to, I can roll it. It's fine.
If no one wants to roll it, I'll toss.
Sure.
All right.
All right. 19.
Okay. The light fades, and the boy has his eyes open. You notice his face is no longer pale. His skin no longer famished and sunken in on itself. And he immediately sits up in the coffin and is freaking out and goes, "Ah, ah." And then the abbot puts a hand on his shoulder and says, "Welcome back." gives a slight smile, and the boy looks at him very confused, and looks at his parents very confused, and he gets up, and the parents go over, and all three of them go to hug. And the abbot, without hesitating, starts to head out, and starts walking back towards the Abbey.
Excuse me,
Mom,
sir.
what happened? Why am I okay? The Abbey helped you. You were sleeping, but you're fine now. Was I dead? You know, and they're having this kind of conversation going. So, sorry, Tim-Tam, what were you saying?
Mr. Abbott,
Yes.
so I know it's a lot and we are asking probably too much. But also before we can continue talking about our friendship, you also mentioned something about something that's afflicting Saxton that we should probably take care of before noon.
That is up to him.
Well, I mean, if he doesn't want to that take care of, and
There are
then the potential danger for everyone, do you have like a safe place he can like go through without harming others?
I do have a spare cell. We can lock him in.
Sounds
But I
hard,
won't.
but
But I won't put him there unless you all are okay with it.
Oh no, of course. I mean, it's something like Saxton, come here. we should all talk about this. Maybe we can talk about this in the Abbey again, because you know, let's the people here have their happy day.
I see the cat has followed me. Hello, my child.
Yeah, there's
It's the
always
cat.
like a cat following us. I think it's like our guardian, because
Oh,
we've survived weird stuff.
maybe it's a very sad guardian angel.
You know, sometimes he wants to come in, sometimes he wants to come out. It's
Sometimes he just knocks stuff off the table.
Sometimes he wants to play, and that's weird.
sometimes he races with his tail.
And most of the time he just spits up a hairball on the floor.
Well, while I'm down here, I might as well give my blessings to the shrine.
Yeah, Saxton,
If you want, I can meet you at the Abbey.
that sounds lovely. If you're all okay with that, Hemlock, Nyhm, and Saxton.
And the abbot will head off towards the northern part of the village. So you guys can, discuss it without him, like, looming over you. He understands that can be very,
Because, Saxton, do you know what you're going through?
Not really.
Because for what you said before, and if I'm putting like 2 and 2 together, all right, that comes from when you were beaten by the werewolf.
But look, I don't even have a mark on me from that.
I mean, the problem is, if legends are true, you will lose control of your body and rampage. And I don't say that that's something you shouldn't go through. But if that's the case, if you want to go through that, we should probably like lock you up at night to make sure you don't hurt anybody.
Well, there is something else we could try. Why not ask the abbot if there's some way that he can help Saxton gain control of that. It may still transform, yeah, but what if he could still be Saxton?
Oh yeah, no, that's. I mean, well, I don't know if, because like, who am I to say if what's a curse and what's a gift or a blessing? But I'm just thinking about the rest of us and the innocent, and nobody wants to get beaten or eaten. That's my only concern right now, because I know Saxon is like strong enough to, if someone is strong enough to control their like bloodlust, it's Saxon.
One thing I've noticed since we've been here is we're going to need every advantage we can. So if I have this and I can control it, it might be something we can use to rid this land of Strahd.
So yeah, I'm not saying you shouldn't go through that, because believe me, I would love to see you go through that, both from a scientific point of view and as your friend. I'm just thinking that the first time you go through this, it will be first probably very painful, and second, you cannot be ready for something like that because you've never been through something like that. That's why I'm saying if you're okay by getting like caged, it's probably a rough word, but like locked in a cell, so you can, well, transform without hurting others.
I'll do it, but just do me a favor. Keep an eye on that Abbott. Something
Oh,
just doesn't sit right with me.
we would be. I mean, I would be on the other side of the door all the time. I mean, we're not leaving you alone in that cage. Well, you would be alone in the cage, but we will be there. You could still talk to us. We would still, you know, we're not leaving you. And whatever you have to go through, we're a team. Some of us have died and we were there. Some of us have lost our minds and we were there. If you suddenly lost your feathers and get like super furry, we will be there.
So the rest of you, what do you guys do now? Do you head up to the Abbey, or do you head to that shrine, that pool? Do you
What
check
time of day is
check
it?
to see? It's hard to tell, but it's sometime in the afternoon. Do you check to see on that family, see how they're doing?
I think that family needs some alone time.
Yeah.
I'd probably start making my way back up towards the Abbey.
I would go to.
Hemlock, no?
Probably head back to the Abbey. He'll probably beat us there, even with still giving the blessing to the shrine.
We'll go back to the Abbey.
Do we go like twice as fast now that we've already been there and we have Nyhm?
Technically, yes.
That's funny.
I'm gonna consider that Nim's figured out what spots on the ground aren't as susceptible to the gravel spilling around and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
Nim's
that's
probably
nice.
just like follow my tiny little Jerbeen footprints, and you guys do when you get there. They have problems.
As much as
They have problems though because you can hop 30 feet. So it's like your little prints are here, and then they're 30 feet way over here.
two things. One, it's now 40 feet of hop.
40 feet. My bad.
And the other thing is, I'm not affected by difficult terrain at all. I'm not so certain how much of that information could be passed along.
Well, with Nim being the guide, I'll say you guys do get up there quicker. Especially since Nim has dealt with this terrain before. It took you an hour to get up this hill before. It takes a half hour now. Well, hill's not the right word. Cliffside. And as you reach the Abbey, that's where we'll end it for tonight. So, Plux. Does Saxton have any Plux?
Nothing comes to mind.
Okay. How about Nyhm?
You know, I think I will this time. Since you guys typically plug your own art and vice versa, or each other's art, there is another game I'm looking forward to on this very same channel. Actually, Friday and Saturday's games this week. We've got the Corruption Crew on Friday, and then we return to our wonderful, tactically advantageous position in Ghosts of Saltmarsh.
Yeah. Where you
Playground?
guys are dealing with zombie apocalypse stuff.
Which is actually a concept that I have been curious about from a wizard standpoint. You know, you always play games or hear situations of a zombie apocalypse with firearms or, some that have been in medieval times. I've never heard of one with a wizard, so I'm kind of interested to see how this plays out. I'm wizard, monk, cleric, paladin. It's not all everything.
I'm pretty sure it'll end with some kind of magical explosion.
What? A zombie invasion in a fantasy setting, it ends in Ice Cream Citadel.
Or in Sakald's case, a winter wonderland.
Yep. For those that don't know, Nyhm plays a Sahuagin wizard on our Ghost of Saltmarsh games on Saturday, and named Sakald. And I think you cast like Sleet Storm or Ice Storm or something, and just like took out like all the zombies, pretty much.
Yeah, Ice Storm outside of the doors that I couldn't see through simply because it's within range spell. So I basically started hitting them before they approached the doors.
But that was just the first wave. So
Exactly.
Saturday, it will continue. Tim-Tam, do you have any plugs?
Well, the usual. Just like follow me on Twitter and check out my Patreon. I do a lot of art, mostly tabletop role-playing game oriented. Other than that,
I might
nothing else.
I might commission you the Abbot.
Oh, I would love to do it. I love cranes.
Yeah, he's a big.
Oh.
He's a crane Abbot.
Yeah. Actually, I might just like sketch it tomorrow because I really like that character. And again, I love cranes.
We'll discuss it. And last but not least, Hemlock. Do you got any plugs?
Hi, I'm Callie. You can find me at Cap Callie on Twitter. I do art and I have commissions open. And my next game is tomorrow for Saffron Academy on Fractured Moon channel. I think it's in the friends list.
Yeah, if you're watching on Twitch, down below there's a friends list, and they are number 1 on that friends list.
Scotty and I are in that game. I turned a dude into a fork last time. It was, I said fork you, and then he turned into a fork. And then,
your cute innocent bunny girl got mad.
Yeah, he was threatening my friends. I didn't like that. but yeah, that's it for me.
Okay. Well, if that's everything, you can check out all of our Twitters, which are down below our faces here. And we have various things. I have a flow page that has all of my social media links, all of my products in the DMs Guild, and my Fiverr account. So if you need any graphic design, commission stuff, I can help with that. And with that, I thank everyone for watching, and we will see you all next Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, Abbott.